Yes, guys, it's Dani Glover from Fight Fan TV Live, proudly sponsored by Treasure Boxing Club, and we're here in Belfast, Northern Ireland, with the victor of his emphatic 8th round victory today, Craig Spider Richards. How are you feeling tonight?
Feeling good. Feels good to be back. Feels good to be victorious. Yeah, I'm feeling great.
So tonight you fought a former world champion in Padraig McCrory, local guy from here. How did it feel in the build-up, and then how did it feel, would you say, on your reception on the way to the ring tonight?
You know, I was very switched on for this fight. I just zoned in for camp. I just wanted to go and prove the level I was at tonight. So going to someone else's backyard, a massive fighter, one of the biggest fighters coming out of Belfast right now. He had a massive support. You heard the boos as I was walking in, but I still just stayed focused, got the job done, and boos on the way and cheers on the way out. It's always a good feeling.
So what would you say was the main sort of tactic, and what would you say was the pros about what he did in there? Like, what did you find good in there, and what weaknesses did you see going into the fight that you thought that you could exploit?
I knew he was a good boxer. He loads up a lot, and I knew I would catch him down the stretch. I just had to be sensible the first few rounds, just box, stay behind my boxing. And then I knew, because I was obviously a away fighter I wasn't an away fighter because I'm a matchroom fighter, but I was in another man's backyard in Belfast. I knew that I had to get the stoppage, so we knew he was going to close the distance. In the later rounds it went on, and Tony said, yeah, this is your time, don't let me see you come back to this stall. And I went out there and I got the job done.
So talking about Tony Sims, I think it's obvious by now, you was obviously switched camps. You was with Shane McGuigan, and now you're at Tony Sims. What was the reason behind it? Obviously not into too much detail, and what was the differences you felt in the training camp going into this fight for yourself personally?
I just feel like I needed back to the formula that I was at. The hard long days, the runs, the everything, the whole camp, like longer days, more sessions, and more time in the gym. And I felt like I got that at Matchroom, and I felt like I wasn't getting I just wasn't being myself, and it just wasn't clicking for me at the gym and the McGuigan's gym. And then I went back to the Matchroom gym, and it all just came back together again, and I can build off of that now.
Yeah, so a lot of people, they feel that you've gone back to Tony, but what it is, just for clarification, you was trained by Peter Sims first, then you moved over to the McGuigan gym, and then now you're with Tony Sims. Also, how has it been with John Ryder, who's recently retired? He's now become a new coach. What do you think of him, and how do you feel he's added to the Matchroom gym as a coach now?
Oh, John's been in there with everyone. His experience, been pro for many, many years. So he's got a lot to offer the game, knowledge-wise and boxing. Obviously, he's new to his coaching journey, so he's going to have, obviously, the experience he's going to need over time, which he's getting now, and he's under great tuition under Tony Sims, who's a veteran in the game. And I think John's coming on well. There was a few days that Tony had to take out, and John covered well, and it wasn't any different for me because the whole time I was at the Matchroom gym, I used to train alongside John. He used to always pushing me, was always pushing each other, and it was like part of my camps all the time then. But as a fighter, with stable mates just pushing each other, and now having him as a coach but still being in the gym and someone to push me, it's familiarity, and he understands me because he's boxed with me as my stable mate for years, been my sparring partner, so he knows what I do well and what I don't do so well also. So that's another angle, and Tony's obviously seen me for years, and he's seasoned, he knows how to read the game very well. So as a collective of a team, it's just brilliant.
I was building off of that. I think that it is actually very good that, for instance, if Tony is busy elsewhere, or John's running the session, he knows what's required of you, and what Tony would, what's required from Tony, because he's been through the school of the Sims. So you can't cut a corner and act like, oh no, but we could do it that way. But he knows, no, this is how the class session went. So that's very good to see that. Talking about obviously the light heavyweight division, this fight was obviously to, propel you back into the big mix. We saw Callum Smith versus Joshua Buatsi last week. What did you think of the fight? And what did you think of the fight last week?
I thought it was a very good fight. Both men, tremendous heart, punch power, grit. It was tongue and what do they call it? Hammer and tongs. It was good though. I enjoyed it. It was fans won that night.
So we saw Artur Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol 2. How did you score the first fight, and how did you score the second fight? Did you think the right man won both times or either time?
I thought I did have Dimitri Bivol edge in the first one, and the second one clearly, obviously, he won it more clearly and more convincing. So, in the end, I think the right man's got the belts from the results. I don't know if they're going to do number 3 or not.
So with the light heavyweight division, you've got Dimitri Bivol, Artur Beterbiev, Callum Smith, Joshua Buatsi, David Benavidez, David Morrell Jr. Do you see yourself fighting one of those guys next? What's the next move?
Just going to speak to my team on who they think's next and best fights for me, in the sense of what's going to either get me a world title shot or put me in a position. I've just got to see what they think's the best route, because for me, I don't duck or dodge nobody. I'm willing to fight anyone as long as it's propelling me in the right direction. I just don't want to be going backwards.
Yeah, so talking about that, I know Michael Afart, he is mandatory for the IBF title. I'm not sure if what will happen with the IBF, because Bivol and Beterbiev are looking to do a trilogy. I don't think there is another guy, I don't know who's ranked behind Afart. So if that was presented to you, the IBF world title shot, do you think that is that something you would take, and would that be a problem for you, because obviously they do have a 12-pound rehydration clause going into that world title fight?
No, that would be ideal for me, to be fair. If that opportunity come on, I'll grab it with 2 hands and 2 feet. So hopefully we can go down that route and make that fight happen, because obviously I'd love a shot at it, and I think me and Michael will be a good fight.
So moving on to your stablemate Conor Benn, he's got a big fight coming up on April 26th. What did you think of this week's fight week with Chris Eubank Jr., and how do you see the tactics in the fight going when they do meet?
It was very entertaining fight week. There's a lot of things what caught the fans' attention, and it's now obviously going to sell out. We always know, everyone loves the little back and forth. Now that's happened. It was going to sell out, I reckon, regardless anyway, but now the tickets are going to go even faster, and it's good. But Conor's very explosive, trains hard, he'll be fit. I'm looking forward to it.
And to end it on yourself, actually, a lot of people don't know that you actually have a history in Belfast before this fight, that you fought here once before. Let everybody know the story.
I actually come here on a short notice fight, and
why was it short notice?
Because pretty much I was meant to fight a guy Tyron Booth. He came in a bit light at the time, so the board didn't allow us to fight. So then obviously I was back at home, and in the week Eddie rung me, said, "You still fit enough for a 4-rounder?" I said, yeah, I'm still fit enough. So he flew me out to Belfast, got me on the show, and I knocked him out with a body shot, left hook to the body in the 3rd round.
Just to add on that, from that you was in the bar literally just behind me, and Eddie Hearn, that's where he famously had a word of you about stepping in a week later for the Buglioni fight, a weight up, as you were super middleweight then, on 5 days notice, to fight Frank Buglioni in a British title fight at the Principality, formerly the Millennium Stadium, on an anti-Joshua Carlos Takam bill. So and funny enough, as I did mention to you before, that I predicted that you would knock out Padraig McCrory, who is a good fighter, by the way, so much respect to him, with the same shot that you dealt with the guy when you fought in the SSE arena last time out. So so how did that feel when you actually ended the fight in quite similar fashion? Obviously 5 rounds difference, but but yeah,
a lot better opponent, I guess. But obviously he's in his hometown, he's a big name in Ireland, and obviously he was eager to win. So I knew it wasn't going to be a pushover. But it was great to go out in his backyard, all the Irish fans there, to go out and perform and get the stoppage. Everyone wants to get the stoppage, the ultimate way of winning. So to get the KO, more importantly than just the stoppage, the KO, it was a great feeling.
Also, it seemed you had a mishap this week where you came out in the Ireland boxer shorts at the weigh-in and the old hat. So what was the story there? How did that end up coming about? And what was the story? I heard Eddie Hearn had some choice words for you.
John Ryder's decided to do my PR. He told me to come out in his hat, the Irish hat, and the boxers, and I realised it was for the wrong part of Ireland.
But you got, I think you got Paddy.
Bedtime for me, isn't it? Yeah.
I think, but you got the Paddy Donovan fans on your side, it seems, because they're from Southern Ireland. So yeah, what's the plans for the rest of the night, and what are you looking to do in the up and coming months? Anything planned?
I think for me tonight, bed, and then after that, I'll just be ticking over in the gym until I hear further news, and just stay focused on the task ahead, then get back into camp as soon as I get the green light. 2025 has got to be an important year for me in boxing, so I'm fully locked in.
For those watching, I know you're probably feeling, where's the energy from Craig and Dani? I know normally Dani Glover's got a lot of bars, but I just have to let you know that it is 3:30 in the morning. We're trying to fight sleep right now to watch Gervonta Tank Davis. So what's your predictions for tonight for Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach?
I think Tank knockout. Sorry, it shows how tired I was. We're fighting sleep. I think Tank will knock him out. Probably 6th round, between 4 to 6.
I hear that, and I think that's the perfect way to end it. So there you have it, guys. It's Dani Glover from Fight Fair TV Live with Craig, Spider, Richards, and remember, it's sponsored by Treasure Boxing Club. And also remember, I know what happened in Saudi, but you saw him back with a bang tonight. Why? Because persistence beats resistance. You know where it is.